All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat Awadah, the house of David. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, it says Neuralink's brain chip now can translate brain activity into audible words. Elon Musk's brain implant company is demoning how the Neuralink N1 chip has helped an ALS patient revive his normal voice. Right? It says Neuralink's brain chip has already shown it can help people with disabilities remotely control a mouse cursor, right, or a robot arm. Now it's reached a new milestone by translating brain signals into audible words. Let's go here. So this is Exodus 20:22 and 18. All right. It says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So this man is a straight witch, right? Nothing but witchcraft on the left hand side. You see? A straight witch. This is all witch hand. This is all left hand miracles, man. And he's trying to play himself, or they trying to put themselves up as the Heavenly Father, right? Second Thessalonians. Let's just get right to it. Okay? It says, verse number 4, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. You see that? And that's what this man is doing. You see? Let's jump down here to verse number 9. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, counterfeit power. You see? Signs and lying wonders, right? You see? Signs and lying wonders. Oh, I can make the blind to see, right? Now we can turn words into, now we can take it and turn this man, get his speech back and turn it into words and all this other madness, man. You see? Nothing but counterfeit power. All right? Let's go here. Right? Back in here, it says translating brain signals into audible words. And this is nothing but counterfeit power. Nothing but left-hand miracles. Witchcraft. All right? On Tuesday, the company shared the results by future and Neuralink user Kenneth Schock, who underwent surgery to receive received the brain chip back in January. Schock has ALS and a neurodegenerative disease known to rob people's ability to walk and talk, which can give them a serious speech impediment. However, Neuralink demonstrated in a video that the N1 brain chip can help Schock more easily communicate without him even moving his mouth. The implant can interpret his brain signals into text, which can then be spoken out loud by a computer program. Right? It says Neuralink give a brief overview, right, about how the approach works. It looks like the implant isn't exactly translating his inner monologue like telepathy, but reading specific brain signals and matching them to words he wants to form. There are certain areas of the brain that become active and generate signals that can be routed to the muscles of the mouth, tongue, and voice box, the company says, of the clinical trial. All right. It says the video also shows the implant and Neuralink software detecting Schock's brain signals and matching them to phenomenons of the smallest unit of linguistic sound. All right, in setting up the speech decoding process, Neuralink machine learning engineer Skylar Gonatier explained, "We will guide him from some sentences to attempt to say, and while use that data to try to map neural intent to actual words in the first stage." Schock voicely spake out. All right, spake out the simple sentences. In the second stage, he merely mouthed the sentences silently. The goal is we want him to be able to simply just intend to move his mouth and for our BCI brain computer interface, right, to decode his speech, Ganter said. All right, so let's play this here real quick.
There we go.
I'm talking to you with my mind.
We're starting off with reducing human suffering. Our first product is called telepathy, and that enables someone who has lost the ability to command their body to be able to communicate with a computer and the ability to do conceptual, consensual telepathy.
In January of 2026, Ken became the second participant to receive a Neuralink implant for voice. He will be able to think, and his device will speak for him. And it will sound like him. It will be OG Ken from way back in 2020 before his voice changed.
I'm not certain about whether soulmates exist or not, but if they do, you're mine. I took one look at your dating profile and I was like, wow, hubba hubba. I was smitten.
Ken and I had a whirlwind romance. We met on eHarmony, and we actually texted for 19 hours straight. At the end of that day, he says, can I call you? And when I heard Ken's voice, that was it. It was love at first sound, I guess is kind of the way it is. After we met, we actually started a black car business. He drove people from the airport to meetings. It was at that point where we kind of started noticing things changing.
I noticed that when I tried to pace things up upside down, I would fall over.
It just wasn't normal. And during COVID is when we noticed his voice starting to change. In January of 2024, we received the news that Ken had ALS. I remember feeling kind of the whole weight of the world, and it was really scary. I had already lost a husband. I think Ken was worried that he was going to leave me alone again. And that was hard for him.
I like to God, like to be able to go and do things. I can't even go shopping anymore. And I can't get help lots of the time because people don't understand my speech. It's really frustrating.
It's not only just the muscles not working, but it's the fatigue. You don't realize how much energy it takes to talk until you don't have that energy to waste. And it really takes away independence. Our house got really quiet. It's the silence that comes with ALS. Was kind of one of the things I didn't realize when it started was going to be one of the things I noticed the most.
The Neuralink device gives us something that no other device can give us, which is a single neuron recording from thousands of channels simultaneously. The telepathy product is basically recording the neural activity from the small area in the motor cortex that involve in execution of hand and arm movements. But if we go only about 2 or 3 inches below, there's another brain area that's involved in execution of speech.
We first heard about Neuralink online. And when he saw that they had a patient registry open for people with ALS, he signed up.
Let me do this. Right? So let me get Psalm 36, right? And let's get it in the NLT. Okay? So this is Psalm 36, and we'll start at the first verse. It says, I'll read it in the KJV first. It says, to the chief musician, the Psalm of David, the servant of the Lord Yahweh, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of Yahweh before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit, and he hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deceiveth mischief upon his bed, and he setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. You see, right? So let's read it in the NLT. It says, for the chair director, a psalm of David, the servant of Yahweh. All right, the Lord Yahweh. It says, sin whispereth to the wicked deep within their hearts. They have no fear of God at all. It says, in their blind conceit, they cannot see how wicked they really are. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night, hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good. Okay? You see? Their actions are never good. They make no attempt to turn from evil. And as you can see, let's get Micah. Right? Let's get it back in the regular KJV. Let's get Micah 2. Right? Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. It is because it is in the power of their hand. You see? It's in the power of their hand. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And that's where we know. We're seeing it right here. Left-hand miracles. Let me get Revelation real quick. All right, we're just going to get the 14th verse. Revelation 13. Then we're going to go back and get the rest of 16 all the way down to 18. All right, so let's just get the 14th verse. Right? It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And as you know, right, we see in the left-hand miracles, okay? We're seeing the left-hand miracles, man. And this is all left-hand miracles, okay? This is nothing but a left-hand miracle right here, all right? A straight left-hand miracle. You see? Let's play the rest of this video.
Up that day.
When you have ALS, you have neuron degeneration, you're unable to transport the signal from your brain to your muscles. It's like a severed internet cable. And with the brain-computer interface, you bypass this pathway completely, and you can read directly from your brain to a device to do the things you want to do. Like most ALS patients, Kenneth was losing his ability to speak. It was slow, it was tiring and difficult, and it's something that is progressively getting worse. And so the real value of the brain-computer interface is that it would give Kenneth his voice back. He'd be able to speak comfortably for hours on end by no longer having to speak out loud, but rather just intend to move his mouth silently in a way that's extremely comfortable.
He was so excited, and I could tell he was excited. I could tell he was a bit nervous.
The only concern I had was the surgery itself, because my lung capacity is lower. Otherwise, I was going home.
Ken had surgery, and they sent him home the next day. It was such a smooth process. You would have never known, sort of 2 days down the road, that anything had ever happened. We stayed in Dallas for a time after the surgery.
We just did our second voice participant surgery last week. Today will be our first day with BCI. We'll go in, show him how to use his charger, how to use his app, and we will guide him for some sentences to attempt to say, and we'll use that data to try to map neural intent to the actual words.
Yes, this is it. Awesome, they have that.
So when a user gets a brain-computer interface, it's sometimes important for them to play around with their behavior to see what works best. What we did was Kenneth slowed down a little bit and tried to enunciate kind of the individual sounds of his sentence. And really, like out of nowhere, we went from 0 to 100 with the model.
Rain in Spain says mainly on the pain. Ow!
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
That's exactly what I said.
Hey.
Come on in.
Oh, nice to see you, Charlie.
Nice to see you guys.
Good morning.
Come on in.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good to see you.
We're still in an early phase here, but Kenneth is helping us build the future.
We'll start with some data collection, just to collect some sentences. After that, we'll train some models and get going. And we'll do these at half speed with mouthing and just continue in that direction.
Siri, turn on lights in every room. I think this is awesome.
The goal is we want him to be able to simply just intend to move his mouth and for our BCI to decode his speech.
There we go.
I'm talking to you with my mind.
Nice work. What was different there?
And that's eating in my head.
Putting more effort in, more intention. It's modulating your neural signals more.
I am the very model of a modern major general.
Neuralink has given us not only Ken's voice back, but it's really given us a boost. It's given us the chance for Ken to kind of be a pioneer. What excited me, they fired it up and he told me that he loved me. In OG Ken voice. So emotional for me to hear it the way I heard it on the phone all those years ago. Yeah, it's something else.
I am finally able to talk to you.
We're going to continue advancing the quality of the sensors, the number of the sensors. We want to build a system that goes directly from the brain to voice in real time. And Kenneth will have instantaneous feedback and control of this voice.
Everyone gets his own color.
Will be blue.
I am going to pay 3 to play Search for Life.
I will take 3.
You're gonna do that?
Yes, please. I'm done with my turn.
Nothing has given me a purpose. We work together to make this thing better. Maybe I can't cure illness, but I can participate in research and can give feedback. It will give us back a voice, and the voice is a very important thing to have. It would be a total waste of who I am if I didn't do all the good you possibly do. Before I take out, go to be with the Lord. And that's the number one reason I'm doing this. Because I'm doing good for others. And that is the best thing of all.
You are the captain of your own ship. Make the most of what you're given in life.
All right, so there you have it. It says during the third stage of testing, the video then shows Neuralink's software detecting Shock's speech without any mouth movement at all. The implant is able to match the brain signals to each phenomenon, right? It says assemble them together, then convert them into words, forming a full sentence that the program can speak out loud using Shock's original voice. I'm talking to you with my mind, he says at 1.3 through the implant. The test is part of the Neuralink's ongoing voice clinical trial, so it may take some years before the technology becomes more widely available. The video also suggests decoding processes still needs work. For example, it can take a few minutes for the software to read his brain signals and convert them into spoken words. Still, Neuralink is aiming to drastically improve the technology over time. We are going to continue advancing the quality of the sensors, the number of the sensors guarantee says, and we want to build the system that goes directly from the brain to the voice in real time. All right, so that was the end of that article. So let's get here, Revelation, right? It's my last scripture, right? Revelation 13, and let's jump down to verse number 16. All right, and it says, and he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That mark right there is charagma, which is an incision or an etching under the skin. You see, and what he has is the brain-computer interface because of his LS, what you call neuro problem. You see, okay, and it says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, right? Meaning 666. You see, it says these are all left-hand miracles, man. As you can see, he was speaking words without moving his mouth, right? In silence, and then the computer would bring it to life. You see, these are all left-hand miracles, man. You take these types of things, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You take this chip, pretty much what I'm telling you. You take this chip, Yahweh Shem Yahushai going to destroy you. Okay? You see, this man is pulling off left-hand miracles where he can make the blind. He wants to make the blind to see, right? He wants to make them. He's even talking about trying to make people to walk again, man. You see, this is nothing but left-hand miracles. And as I read to you in the beginning of the video, right, Exodus 22:18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. This man is a witch. You see, what do you think? What do you think their summit meetings and all is about? Spiritual cookings and many different other things of that nature, man. Right? Left-hand miracles, praising up to God's witchcraft, demons. All right? And so on and so forth, man. You see? All right? Praising down to Baal, right? You see? What is it? What is it? Baphomet, right? Beware of the coagula, right? Which the coagula is written on Baphomet's arm. You see? All right, let's continue on. It says that no man might buy or sell. Right? No, well, let's go back up to the top. It says, verse 16, latter verse of it. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell. Buying and selling is transactional. That's an exchange of money for service and goods, right? CBDC, central bank digital currencies, is going to be the new thing. Guarded by what? These Gwyn towers, right? Which is really, they consider them 6G, 5G towers, which is all powered by faster speeds of radiation. You see, henceforth is going to bring in that pus, right? It's going to bring in that grievous sore. Okay? You see? All right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell, right? Because it's all going to be put on a blockchain. You see, every transaction that is going to be put on a blockchain, meaning all your medical records, all your history, your history, everything is going to be put on a blockchain. All right, transactions is going to be done and put on a blockchain with inside that chip, right? Which they'll be able to see, track, and trace and control. You see, they're able to cut off your chip and do all these other things of that nature, man. All right? It says, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? 666. The mark, 666 is the number of imperfection. You see? It says, here is wisdom, let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, let's go over to Revelation 16. Revelation 16:2, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore. Right? That sore right there is hell coast. Right? You see? Upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Let's jump down to verse number 10. All right. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness. And they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the power, right, Yahweh of heaven, because of their pains and their sores, right, which right there is hell coast again, and repented not of their deeds, right, meaning their works, their evil works, because this right here is what you call this man enticing you in to take this mark, right, to sin against the Heavenly Father. Okay? Because you're not supposed to put anything anything in your skin, no tattoo. You're not supposed to put any of these things within your body, or tattoos or anything on your body, man. Okay? That's utterly defiancy against the Most High. Okay? Utter defiance against the Most High. All right? So let's go to Revelation 14. And let's get this here. We're going to end it off there. Revelation 14 and 9. You see the doom for worshipers of the beast, right? It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in their forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushua. All right, so with that, we're going to give all praises and glory and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayath Dawadah, the house of David. Kwam Yasha Allah, Abba Babal, Shalom.